Hey, what's going on, guys? Sima here. I want to do a quick informative video for you guys. If you're vaccinated or unvaccinated and want to travel within Canada or outside and don't know too much about the new information that's out there. So I just want to quickly say that if you arrive in Canada, the hotel COVID jail is no longer in service thanks to the Justice Center. They actually challenged it, and they'll be challenging other things. But if we look really quickly here, um, effective August 9th, 2021, the government of Canada has discontinued the requirement for a 3 night stopover. They discontinued the requirement, but you never know if the app's still going to say it or what have you, because they always like to keep things under the hush, because that's how they work. They push all these mandates on you, which are unconstitutional, and then you run out and get the vaccine and then find out, oh, wow, I didn't have to get it, and I'll prove it to you within just a second. So Canada quietly lifts blanket travel advisory related to COVID 19. So they made big announcements that you can't travel anywhere, but they quietly lift the requirements. So all these people thought that you couldn't travel anywhere. You can only go for essential or non-essential travel wasn't allowed. But really, people and Canadians who know their information have been traveling regardless. So moving forward, according to the Sun, this was posted. Excuse me, a little bit of stuffy nose today. October 23rd, 2021. Okay. Liberal vaccine mandates are all about political gain. All right. So this is very, very important. So Trudeau made a big press conference about everyone who wants to board a train or a plane. I think it's right here. You need to be vaccinated. That is not true. So, according to The Sun, the Federal Transportation Department quietly announced that the vaccine mandate for air and rail travel would have to be put off until December. And even then, domestic passengers can probably not be forced to be vaccinated. Negative tests likely will have to be accepted in lieu. Okay? And also, there is almost certainly no legal way the House of Commons Board of Internal Economy can compel MPs to get jabs, and probably not their political staffs either. The MPs work for their constituents, not the Board of House, and it's important that voters retain ultimate authority over them. The Trudeau government knows all this, of course, but it assumes many Canadians don't. So it's all tough talk by MPs getting vaccinated. It's nothing more than virtue signaling for political gain, just like it's a vaccine mandate for all civil servants that lets 70% of federal employees quietly skirt the requirement. So, in smaller, to break that down, what that means is they're advertising all these unconstitutional laws and telling that these you have to get vaccinated. It's mandatory, but it's not. It's not mandatory. And if you want to leave and board a train, you don't have until October 30th. You have until December, and even after December, I don't think it's true, because the Justice Center has just proven to you that the hotel travel COVID jail that they managed to put in place was tackled and challenged and fought, and they won. And everyone who is entering Canada and getting those fines, some people are even getting like a $750,000 fine for not quarantining. Once it goes to court, it's thrown out. So really, it's all scare tactics. And people who went to these COVID jails have been raped, robbed. It's terrible, and it's unconstitutional. So please, please hold your ground. If you don't want to be vaccinated, don't think that you don't have any freedom, because you do. You just need to know to where to look for the information and dig for it. And that's why I'm doing this informative video for those of you who are vaccinated. Because if you're vaccinated, that's fine, and if you're unvaccinated, that's fine also, but this information is out there for you. So moving on to traveling within Canada, like I said, you have until December. So this is a blogger, excuse me, Fly Trippers, and this guy travels a lot, and his information is pretty good. It's straightforward, so I just wanted to give you a few excerpts of what he's saying here. So pretty much the main difference for vaccinated travels is that the land border is reopening, and apparently without a test required for entry. But that's not 100% official confirmation, so we'll reconfirm before the 8th. But it seems to be trending anyway. Nothing else has changed at this point. The good news is that US will consider those who got the AstraZeneca vaccine, which they never approved, and those who got mixed vaccines, which they never approved as fully vaccinated. So before it wasn't approved. So now, if you got a little bit of mix and match, if you're vaccinated, you can enter the United States. Okay. So, fully vaccinated travelers, okay? How to travel? There's three simple steps. Step one, comply with the rules to board in your country. Step two, comply with the rules for the other country that you're going to. And step three, comply with Canada's entry rules for your return. Um, Traveling to the US by air, you don't need any requirement. An antigen or PCR pre entry test is required 3 days prior, not 72 hours. And mind you, you can get those cheap $40 tests. You can do them at home with a teleworker. I think they sell it at Rexall or Shoppers. I know Rexall for sure. And you speak with a telehealth worker and you stick it up your nose and they check the test and it's rapid, it's fast, and it tells you if you're negative and you can go ahead. So you can do that. Don't spend the $200 ones, okay? So PCR pre-entry test 72 hours before the flight to Canada, scheduled departure time. Fill out the Arrive Can app, and mind you, do not do the COVID jail. Traveling to the USA by land prior to November 8th, it's not applicable. There's no test requirements apparently, and that's if it's essential. Okay, so that's only for essential travel because right now it's closed, right? Yeah, excuse me, and the PCR test. Okay, moving forward, rules before October 30th. If you're unvaccinated, sorry, I'm just gonna have a sip here. So there's three simple steps. Yet again. Sorry, I think I have something in my mouth. It's gone now. Ew, I'm touching my nose. My mouth. I'm just joking. All right, sorry. So if you're traveling to the United States by air, there's no requirement. You do the antigen test for $40 or the PCR test, and you have to do a quarantine. But if you're going to Florida, I don't think there's quarantine. But if you've been to any of the 30 following countries, you're not allowed into the United States. So really quickly, that's China, Iran, European area, so Austria, Belgium, Czech, United Kingdom, Republic of Ireland, Brazil, and if you further need information, just go to cdc.gov and they will tell you all the countries. So if you've been to those countries, unfortunately, prior to October 30th, you cannot enter the United States. All right. Also, the land border is closed. All right. So moving forward, in short, that's how unvaccinated Canadians can travel to the USA. You don't need anything to board in Canada. That starts August 30th. You must have a pre-entry test. Rapid antigen tests are accepted as cheap as $40. You must have 3 full calendar days before the day of your flight, not 72 hours, and you must enter the USA by air because the land border is closed until November 8th. When you come back, Canada entry rules, you can obviously enter Canada by land or for your return if you want. So land or air, it's up to you. You're Canadian, especially you can enter back. You must have a pre-entry test to enter Canada, PCR or NAT accepted. So that's not the cheap ones, those are the expensive ones. You can easily find free tests in almost every US state. So I think you have to get it before you leave anyway, so it's free. You have 72 hours before your flight or 72 hours before you arrived at the land border. The 72-hour deadline is based on the scheduled departure time of your direct flight to Canada. You must also quarantine for 14 days when returning to Canada. Once again, you don't have to listen to any mandates or quarantine, and they can't find you, and you don't have to submit PCR tests. You don't have to follow up. You don't have to do anything. So please don't do it. And you can Arrive Can app. So I don't know too much about the app. I haven't used it. So now after November 7th, that's where it gets tricky. It's cringy actually, if you ask me. After November 7th, if you're not vaccinated, you can't enter the states, which is really, really, really unconstitutional. But hold your ground because Southwest Airlines and American Airlines they have dropped the requirement for their staff to be vaccinated. So if their staff is unvaccinated and you're unvaccinated, why are you not allowed to enter the United States if their own staff is unvaccinated? So hold your ground, and it's going to be fought just like Justice Center has fought for your rights. They throw all these things down your throat and they get you scared and you run and get it. And then you realize it was unconstitutional. She did all this anyway for nothing. And that's what they know. And they're pushing on you, just like the news article said. Mind you, that was the Ottawa Sun Toronto. That this is where I got the information from. And this is Fly Trippers, the blogger. Like I said, he recently, I don't know if I haven't already told you, he traveled in May and March. He's going again in November. So it's a pretty good website that gives you all this information. So prior to November 8th or after November 8th, if you're vaccinated, you can enter in. And even if you went to the 40 countries that are banned, no problem. You're allowed in. So I guess that's a good thing for you. Um, if you're not vaccinated, you can't get into the country, which is unfortunate. But you can travel by the border after November 8th for non-essential travel or essential travel, doesn't matter. So please, I hope this was informative for you. Like I said, all these things that are happening are unconstitutional. They're being fought. So if you are vaccinated, great. If you're unvaccinated, and you don't want to be, and still think you can't travel, you can. So know this information. You have until December, and even by then, Ontario is scrapping all these mandates apparently. So if they are, and if Southwest Airlines is unvaccinated, uh, and their staff, I don't see why they would deny unvaccinated travelers. All right. So thank you for listening to my video, and you take care of yourself and have a great day. Thank you. By the way, the date of this video is October 25th, 2021. If there's updated information, I'll let you know. Thanks. And my name is Seema.